Welcome back to GoldSeek TV. I'm here in Zurich with the president and CEO of Aztec Minerals, Simon Dyakowski. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Peter.
Great to see you in person here. Aztec has two excellent projects, one in Arizona and one in Mexico. So I'd like to first talk about the silver-focused project in Tombstone, Arizona, which is a very historic silver mining area. So give us a little bit of an update. What's happening with the project, Tombstone project?
Yeah, happy to. And thanks for the question on Tombstone. So we are drilling at Tombstone currently. This is the culmination of about a year and a half of a new geologic model, which we put together after our last discovery hole was drilled in April of 2023. We hit some exceptional grades of silver in our first sort of deep test of the Tombstone district. We hit 1.5 meters over 3,400 grams. Then we've paused for the last few months to go ahead and consolidate all of the information that we've put together over the last number of years that we've been involved in the project, developed a new geologic model, and just as of a couple of weeks ago, I've started to now drill test our new expansion targets, which we hope will, potentially double the area that we've been drilling in to date.
So this deposit is it's a historical deposit. It's been mined many years ago. Maybe give us a little bit of an overview of that, because that's quite an interesting history.
Yeah, so there's two major eras of mining at Tombstone. Pre-1950, there's a number of high-grade underground silver mines that operated from about 1880 through to 1940. Mining shut down around World War II for precious metals and then resumed in the 1980s, where there was an open pit heap leach operating at Tombstone on and off for about 10 years. And they were mining along the same trends, but more near surface to where the high grade underground silver mines were. And that came to an end in the early 90s when the precious metal markets took a few years off, as many people remember. And now we're the first group to come in with modern exploration to come in. We've consolidated land ownership of the district. It is private land. And so for permitting, it's super advantageous in that part of Arizona, very, very mining friendly. So we've come in, put together a more complete picture of both the underground and the near surface opportunities. And we've now drilled about 6,500 meters over the last 4 years. Primarily focusing on the shallow gold, silver oxide potential, so expanding that open pit potential, but now continuing to do so with a view to tying in with some of the higher grade underground silver targets as well.
Okay. Is there a potential that this still may turn into a Taylor kind of deposit?
Well, very much so. There's one drill hole that was drilled by a previous operator underneath the north end of our pit, which hit about 7 meters of 10% metal, 9.1% lead zinc, 0.6 copper, 32 grams silver, and a little bit of gold. That was at a depth of 650 meters, so well in the limestone unit below the open pit, and has never been followed up on with any drilling. So at Aztec, we are gearing up to hopefully drill test that over the next year. It's not the easiest target to get to when you think of the logistics of drilling it. You have to start with reverse circulation and then complete the drill with core. And we're now almost at a point where we're confident to do that. But in the interim, we'll be following up on the gold silver hits that we've been producing pretty consistently over the last few years.
Okay. Well, nice silver project. Continue to explore, develop. Directly south of there in Mexico, you have a very nice gold project, Cervantes project. So give us an update. What's happening there right now, and what kind of plans do you have for the coming period?
Yeah, so last year or earlier this year, we wrapped up about a phase 4 drill program there. We're up to now over 12,000 meters of drilling, 67 drill holes. The main gold oxide target at the Cervantes project, called the California Zone, continues to grow. And over the past few months, we've been busy at the desktop level working up our next round of targets. Ideally, we'd like to get back in there in 2025, starting with a surface program. Tons of area for us to explore there. It's a big project, 3,600 hectares. So we think that we can continue to grow the gold oxide cap at the California target with additional drilling. But first, we'll be undertaking some surface work and then communicating all that to the market, to our shareholders, and potentially going into further drilling thereafter.
So one of the interesting aspects or features of this project is that you have I don't know if we would call a strategic investor from Alamos Gold. which also is mining near this deposit. So give us a little overview. What is happening with that Alamos?
Yeah, so Alamos has come into several of our financings. They operate the Mulatos open pit heap leach gold mine about 40 kilometers to our east. It's been a massive, flagship project for them since really their inception 20 plus years ago. So they're right in the neighborhood. We've also have another company called Minera Alamos that's having decent production down south of us. There was a very large M&A exit in 2011 of a project called La India, which is about 50 kilometers east of us, similar million-ounce target-ish heap leach project that fetched a very healthy valuation in the last cycle. So we're in a great neighborhood. And, I think as things become better understood in Mexico with the new president there, that Mexico should make, I think, a resurgence in terms of mining jurisdictions.
So that'd be a great insight. Give us a little insight to this new president. She came into power recently. There's been a lot of fear about open pit mining and the mining industry in general. So what's happening with the new administration?
Yeah, there has been some easing on some of that rhetoric. So the outright ban on open pit mining on new concessions appears to be ratcheted back and off the table for now. So that's certainly positive for us as an explorer. We're most affected by environmental regulation for exploration drilling, and we permitted our last round of drilling after the mining law had changed, and to our advantage, it was only about a 6-week process. So, even despite the challenging narrative around Mexico, you're still getting exploration permits in some cases many times faster than in places like Canada.
Yeah, I've noticed, having followed the Mexican mining industry since the early 2000s, it has been one of the best places in the world to go explore, find huge deposits, gold, silver. It's a very obviously the largest silver mining country, but there's a lot of opportunity left, it sounds like.
I agree, and it's very difficult to think of Mexico without having a strong mining industry. So, as we know in politics, things are cyclical, and my personal feeling is that the sentiment has probably bottomed out, and hopefully will improve from here as things become better understood.
And I just go back to the Cervantes project. So I want to know a little bit more about the grades, and you're talking about this oxide cap part. So what does that look like? What kind of
Yeah, we're looking at an average grade of around a 0.75 in the drilling that we've seen. We're intersecting fairly wide widths, anywhere from 80 to 100 plus meters in that 0.75 range. And the nice thing about our discovery there is that it's running right along a ridge line, and the mineralization starts virtually from the drill collar. So we're looking at a situation that potentially has a very low strip ratio, which is one of the key characteristics of whether an open pit mine will work or it won't. And the metallurgy is also quite positive from our initial met testing that was completed over 2 rounds of bottle tests. So the oxides leach well, and even the sulfides leach somewhat as well, about 50%. So we're optimistic about the prospects there. There's also a very large copper porphyry potential at depth. That will obviously require further drilling to investigate, but we still think we're, forgive the expression, scratching the surface on this project, and look forward to doing some more drilling.
Great. Well, looking forward to see how the drilling continues at Tombstone, how that develops, and also in Cervantes. It's a excellent period now to hopefully get more attention from the market, because we have a lot more higher gold and silver prices, and not a lot of exploration work in these down markets. So it's nice to see projects moving forward.
Yeah, no, I think we're well positioned for when the interest resumes with the generalist investor.
Great, Simon. Well, we look forward to following up with you in the future and seeing how Tombstone and Cervantes develop.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you.